But that's how the Jesus movement began. You think there's some strategy involved here? Let me ask you a question. Do we want our church to grow? An old definition of evangelism, probably the first definition of evangelism many of us learned, is evangelism is one beggar showing another beggar where to find the bread. Reaching people for Jesus is relational. Oikos is this: you in the center, relating to people. Maybe there's 10, maybe there's 12 people that you relate with. Maybe there are people in your family. We call that Abrahamic oikos. Or maybe there are people outside your family. We call that apostolic oikos. Going out and reaching people that you know, associates. The concept of oikos is this: we all have people in our lives that we are uniquely related to. We have people that we may be the only person they know that loves Jesus. We may be the only person they know that can connect them to Jesus. That's an interesting concept, but it also brings responsibility. When you recognize that you need to be reaching people, the Great Commission says this: go ye into all the world. We know that. We sang that song a couple of weeks ago. But what it really should be how it really should be translated is, as you go about, share Jesus. Everyone has a responsibility, not just missionaries. We have some, and that's great. But all of us, as we go about, are responsible to share Jesus. We have an oikos. We have a group of people. Now let's see how it worked out today in our message. Here's Jesus in the center. This is Jesus oikos. Boy, I write terribly. Jesus oikos. Who was first? John the Baptizer. And because he was in relationship with other people, we also find that through him, Andrew, and over here, John, the author of the book, became believers in Jesus through their relationships, through their connection. And they're connected both with the baptizer, but then they leave and they follow Jesus. You know, it's interesting. Not much is said more in the Gospels about John the Baptizer after this, because the Jesus story takes place. But Andrew, he's a cool story. He has his Abrahamic responsibility, his Abrahamic oikos, to go and reach his brother Peter. So Peter comes to be a believer, and we know how important Peter became in the church. And so all these guys then began to develop their oikos, and they reach out to people left and right. We got down here, we also have Nathaniel, a friend from their hometown, maybe a guy from their basketball team. They reach out to Nathaniel. Over here at the wedding at Cana, you have Jesus, you have disciples, people who were already following him. Disciple means literally learner. So these are people that were already interested in what Jesus was saying. You have a crowd, bunch of people. Yeah, his family. You see Jesus oikos, all these things. And before long, you don't know who in your oikos might be the one that connects to 10 more people and 10 more people. And before long, by the end of the gospel, by the beginning of the church in Acts, there are thousands in 3 years that have become followers of Jesus, because that's how it started. Now, I want to ask you, have you thought about 10 or 12 people? It may mean that you have to miss church to have coffee with somebody. It may mean sometime you might have to miss a Wednesday night so that you can be with somebody and meet with somebody where they're at, outside of this building. But the way to grow, the way to reach people for Jesus, and it's about reaching people for Jesus, is what we've seen this morning. It only takes a spark to get a fire going.